First, I have to clean up a little bit because I want to make sure that my countertops don't have any germs or whatnot before I make these cookies, because no one wants a germy cookie. So I just took some disinfecting wipes from Publix and I'm wiping down my countertops. Sometimes I just like to take a little break by twirling like a 3-year-old. Okay, I finished washing my hands, and now I am going to light a candle that matches my dress and smells like vanilla. So, yum. This is the box mix that I'm using. Even though it comes in a bag, I'm still going to call it a box mix because it is not from scratch. Should I call it a bag mix? No, a box mix sounds better. A bag mix sounds kind of gross. Anyway, the reason I like to use this bag mix called cookies is because it's vegan, it's gluten-free, and all that fun stuff. And I am vegan, so it's very convenient to have a box mix that I can use without having to make a whole thing from scratch. Anyway, the first step on the box mix was to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The second step is to add the wet ingredients, starting off with your egg or egg replacement in my case. I'm going to be using a flax egg, which is 1 tablespoon flax seeds, preferably milled, and 3 tablespoons water. Please don't judge me too intensely for using the water from my water bottle. I didn't want to use the tap water, and if I were to use the water from my fridge's filter, then it would have splashed all up in my face. So, yeah. Now I am just making sure that the flax egg congeals like it should by adding just a little bit more flax seeds. Maybe I should have tied all of my hair up before baking and getting flax egg on my hands. Anyway, the next ingredient to add would be vegan butter in my case, and I definitely should have melted my butter before adding it to the flax egg. Basically, it would have completely prevented me having to whip the vegan butter so that it would actually mix properly with the flax egg. Melting the butter also would have saved me from having to spoon out each of the 4 tablespoons of vegan butter that I had to use manually with a fork. You are welcome for speeding through a whole minute of me spooning out vegan butter with a fork. I mean, that would be a very useful feature in real life, just speeding through the boring or useless parts. Anyways, the next ingredient to add is 1 teaspoon of, say it with me kids, vanilla extract. The best smelling extract in the world. Yes, I said it. Go away with your lavender or your tea tree oil or any other extract, like almond extract, whatever. Vanilla. It smells the best. It tastes kind of bad on its own, but it still smells like heaven. Sorry for that weird cut. It occurred because my phone ran out of storage, so it stopped recording. So I had to delete some stuff, and then it still didn't record. So then I ended up using my mom's phone to record. So, woo. The only shot that was missed was the last wet ingredient that was being added, and that was 1 tablespoon of water, just to make sure that the cookies are nice and moist. Sorry if you hate that word, moist. The third step, as you can see, is to whisk or mix the dry ingredients, which is the bag mix, into the wet ingredients. The recipe actually said to use an electric mixer and have it on medium-high for about 1 to 2 minutes and not to overmix. However, I do not have an electric mixer. So I used a fork, then a spatula, so I could scrape down the sides of the bowl to whisk my dry and wet ingredients together and create the dough. And now is the moment of truth where I taste the dough. It's pretty good. It tastes a little bit more like flax seeds than it should, but next time I guess I won't add so much. There's nothing I can do about it now. Okay, so the oven is preheated, but I forgot to take out the previous utensils and cooking ware. And I forgot to prep the baking sheet, so this is gonna be fun. Woo, speed through! And I am really taking advantage of every opportunity to feel like Vanna White. I'm going to wash my hands again, just in case, because I tasted the cookie dough, sometimes with my fingers, sometimes with a spoon, just in case. Doesn't hurt. Now it's time to dirty another kitchen utensil, another spoon. I don't really shape these dough balls into balls because it's quite a wet dough, so I just let the spoon kind of form them and then they plop onto the parchment paper that I will be laying down. Yes, Kayla, there are cookies on the parchment paper box. However, I assure you, your cookies turn out much, much uglier than those seen on the box. It is plopping time. I think this is why my cookies turned out a little bit ugly. It's cute, whatever, they're rustic. Yes, that gooey goodness. Plop. Rinse, wash, repeat for 12 cookies. 12 or 11. I don't know how many the box made, but I made my cookies a little big, so I think it's 11. Look at my rustic cookies. There's only 3 so far, but they are beautiful. Plop speed through. Also, who are you if you don't take the last and scrape the bowl and lick it? Like, that's the best part. Look at my cookies! They look so pretty! Except it looks like someone ate the whole dough of one. I don't know who. But that doesn't matter. Now they're going in the oven at 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going 9 for that perfect sweet spot. And so that they're just enough gooey, but also just enough crispy. Now, an inevitable part of cooking is the cleaning, and that means doing the dishes. I mean, at least I can play with suds, right? I mean, God, I sound like a toddler trying to look at the best possible outcome of doing chores. Well, now that I have jumped ahead to where all of the dishes are clean, let's check back on those cookies. I don't understand how 9 minutes while waiting for, cookies to bake or something like that, or maybe the last 9 minutes of class, they feel like the longest 9 minutes of your life. I just don't understand. I've heard, the saying, a watched pot never boils. Well, why? Why doesn't it boil, okay? I'm impatient and I want my cookies. No matter. I found the perfect way to pass the time by preparing my milk, my almond milk, for my cookies for when they are done. It's the last minute, folks, and my cookies do not look done. They look very pale. That's besides the point. It's the last minute. Woo! It's the final countdown. And yes, Kayla, they are way too hot to touch. What? Why? Okay, you're just gonna burn your fingers. You let them cool on the rack. Well, you might want to take them out of the oven. Yes. What are you doing? Oh, they're a bit too soft. I understand. Oh, that might be a little too much time. So I ended up putting them back in for like another minute. And let's see how they turned out. I say they turned out pretty pale and kind of ugly looking, but they're cute. They're like so ugly that they're cute. Kayla, why are you touching them? They just came out of the oven. Yes, they're going to be hot. Oh, what am I going to do with you? Oh, hello. Now, plating is one of the most important criteria on a show like Chopped. However, I want my cookie now, so it's gonna get squished onto this beautiful, decorative Christmas plate. Now that is what I call a decent cookie. I mean, like, all jokes aside, I basically have no taste buds because I went vegan. However, I think this cookie was pretty decent. Like, I didn't follow the instructions exactly, and they still came out pretty good. And, like, I'm not the biggest fan of coconut, and they used coconut flour as, like, the base, but it was still pretty good. I think it was a good sweetness. It had a bunch of chocolate chips, which y'all saw in the dough, and I think it tasted pretty gosh darn good, if I do say so myself. And of course I had to eat it so that it burnt the roof of my mouth and so that the chocolate was all melty, that it got all over my fingers. And like I said earlier, you have to have some milk with your cookie. I don't know about you, but leave in the comments below, are you the kind of person to dip your cookie in the milk, or would you prefer to alternate cookie, then milk, then cookie, then milk, like bite after sip, you know? Or do you forego milk overall, like altogether? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't know. I like the bite then sip, but leave what you think in the comments below. Dad, do you want some cookies?
I will.
Even though they're vegan?
Yeah. Are they chocolate or?
Chocolate chip. Alas, this is the end of my video. If you liked it, hit the like, subscribe, ding the bell, all that jazz. Follow my Instagram account, Kayla Mary Official, because I'm official like that. I sing, I bake, I'm into fashion. I'm a wild ride, okay? See you next time.